Going? We are live.
We
Hello
are.
everybody. Thank you for letting us take our little holiday break.
Ooh, we
If
did have one.
you literally don't know us at all, then you don't know that Brittany went to Hawaii.
Did I tell you
You did?
about the time that I went to Hawaii?
Oh, girl, spill it. Tell me.
We don't have enough time. We don't have
Yeah,
enough
that's
time.
true.
Shout out to Jen Fortune of Jen Fortune Photography, who
Yeah.
took me and my friend Tara for the trip of a lifetime. Um, Actually, Jen is doing like private tours of Hawaii because she
Wow,
lives
I
there.
saw that. Yeah,
Yeah, it's so amazing because she will take you to all the places that tourists don't know about
that's
and
crazy.
hidden beaches, like the best places to eat that you just wouldn't know to
Yeah.
go to. So, if anyone's watching and they want to go to Hawaii, you got to connect with Jen Fortune of Jen Fortune Photography and get
Well,
you a photo shoot on the beach and have a private tour of the islands. It's amazing.
I love that. We need to make a jingle for every time that we like name drop one of our like businesses that we love and people that we love. We need to just have like just a little jingle like doodle doo. Maybe I'll have like a little keyboard and drum beat over here and it's like we're about to talk about someone that we love. Everybody take it now.
Oh my
Don't
gosh, I would
forget
love it.
Fortune photography.
Oh my
She's
gosh,
on the line.
I totally meant to have Crude Carnivore's Christmas gift pack, but I don't have it with
Oh
me to
yeah.
share on screen. But she's one of our beloved clients, and
Yeah.
she go to crudecarnivore.com if you are a pet parent or you know someone who has a pet that they love like a child. The Crude Carnivore bone broth is like the perfect Christmas gift. It's so cute.
That's
Okay,
awesome.
all right,
I love
that's
that.
all I. I'll have more. I'll have
I
more
love
things
it.
that I drop, but
Yes. So tonight the topic is about turkeys because we have mentioned that a lot and a lot of people are like, "Why do you keep saying turkeys? What's up with that bird?" So we decided to wait until post
what's with
Thanksgiving to
that
talk about it
bird?
because we didn't want to have any Thanksgiving dinner anxiety about your turkey situation. However, it was. Mine was actually a duck. Oh, mom, we got a comment from mom. She says, "You went to Hawaii?"
Yes, Mom. I'll have to tell you about it sometime.
We'll have to talk about it over shaved ice. I think they call. Wait, what do they call it here?
Shave ice. No D at the end. It's not
Yeah, I
shaved.
love that. Um, so we're gonna talk about turkeys, and to me, I define turkeys as somebody in your community. Could be a group of people. It could be one person. It could be any multitude, a whole flock of people who are holding you back, keeping you from being an eagle. Um, which, we've all heard that story. People are like, when you hang out with a bunch of what is it? I can't fly like an eagle when I am surrounded by turkeys, is exactly how it is. That's exactly how they say it. I'm
Oh,
confident in that. Anyway, so what I think is important is to not only acknowledge that whenever you feel stuck and you feel a block, and it is unexplainable, you've done the work and you're like, why am I still not doing these things? It's probably because there's a turkey in your midst. And
mm.
as a recovering turkey, I know I've been a turkey before.
As a
You're probably
recovering turkey?
you're probably the turkey. Um,
I'm sure I'm a turkey.
yeah, or you've probably been a turkey to somebody else.
Oh
Um,
man, how
you probably
heartbreaking.
have.
But
We've all
yeah,
been
it's
young,
sad.
and yeah, I think that it's Amber from Salt Lake Social just said a recovering turkey. I mean, like, honestly, I think that we can all say that we've like been salty about somebody else. Shiva, you're so right with that phrase you're sending me. And Brent said, "Hi, I'm Brent, and I'm a turkey." Well, you know what? We're going to discuss this tonight, Brent. So pull up a chair or whatever turkeys sit on, a perch. Pull up a perch. Uh, so what I really want to talk about is just kind of like dissecting your community, understanding your community a little bit better, talking about community, and us all just kind of understanding that we can strive to be the best community member we can be
Mm,
ourselves too. I mean,
yeah.
there's no shame in finding out that there's no shame in growth, and there's no shame in getting better if you've been the kind of person to be like, why would that person ever think that they could be a photographer? What, they
Mm,
just like, picked up a camera and they're just like a photographer now, and it's like, this literally isn't affecting you. I know I've done that. I like, surely I'm not sitting here by myself,
no.
that we've all done it. We've all had this weird turkey attack.
Turkey
Thanks.
attack.
Brittany,
Oh, go
yeah.
ahead.
No, I was gonna say, what are your thoughts? So this lined up perfectly.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, absolutely. I think everyone's guilty of being a turkey, in one way or another. Especially if you're in a certain field or craft and you maybe have fine-tuned it and done it for a long time, and then you know, a new bird flies in, and you're like, hmm, protecting your territory or
Yeah.
whatever you want to do. It's very easy to become a turkey and to kind of pick apart that person's validity
Yeah.
in where they're at and what they're doing and assess what level they're at compared to you. And I would say that's definitely something that everyone has done. And,
Yeah, absolutely.
in every aspect, not necessarily in creative fields either, just in life in general.
Yeah, a lot of mom just said, we have all been a turkey and an eagle, and I can't
Mm,
agree more. And there's been moments that some people have been stunted by their own community and stunted by their own negative thoughts, that maybe they don't even realize that they could get to the point where they can do better, or go above. Like, there's a huge culture, especially in the South, of like, go above your raisin,
yeah,
that you can go above whatever that even means. You know what I mean? But going above your raising and going above and beyond and following your dreams, just because other people pursue different dreams, doesn't mean that you can't pursue your own specific niche
yeah.
thing. I So something that I really wanted to talk about, Brittany, naturally,
Mm,
because I wrote it down.
okay. If you wrote it
Um,
down, it's serious.
yeah, it's serious. It's not a tattoo yet. I said, so I was actually talking to my boyfriend Joel, who is really good at creating community, especially in creative fields, like 3D animation specifically is like his jam. And he has two companies right now. So he does a lot of community creation and all that jazz. Anyway, so we had a conversation about turkeys beforehand. Um, and he said something I really liked, and it was, whoever's in charge of your community is in charge of kicking the turkeys out.
Ooh,
And I thought that that was an interesting concept,
that
because
is.
when you think about it,
Mm-hmm.
if let's say I own a coffee shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is what I know. I've worked in coffee shops before, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, if I work in a coffee shop, and or I own the coffee shop and I'm hiring people,
Mm-hmm.
it's my responsibility in the vetting process to not only make sure that I'm hiring people can work, who can work those days, can
Mm-hmm.
fill in those shifts, who can be trained for that specific purpose. It's important for them to also be supportive and use supportive language, and not be a turkey in my business,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
And if I hire a turkey, it's my responsibility to understand what they're doing to the dynamic, to morale, to whatever. It's my responsibility to also fire them,
Mm,
or deal with it in whatever way I should deal with it.
yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Based on the communities that you've been in,
I
you've
think
you've
that's
had
an
some turkey moments.
I definitely have been in situations where there've been turkeys, you know? And looking back in retrospect, like I'm sure I'm definitely was a turkey in some of those situations.
Oh yeah,
I
100%.
think the important thing is one, if there is a turkey in your midst, to run around wreaking
Yeah,
havoc, as I
yeah,
assume turkeys do,
yeah.
as much as they're delicious. Um, I do think it's also the responsibility as a business owner to communicate with the turkey of what they're doing and how they can become the eagle
Mhm.
in that spot as well. Like giving someone the opportunity for growth, I think is important. And then being able to have steps, like if they don't reach these certain steps and they don't strive to be better,
Mhm.
then that's when you know that we need to cut our losses right now. I always want to believe in like a redemption story for people
Yeah.
and for turkeys. And I think it's kind of it's not really kind of like it's on you if you believed in this person enough to bring them on your team or bring them in the culture of your business or in your world, in your life in general. Um, and like you should at least have enough faith in them that maybe they weren't quite at the level that you expected to guide them to get
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so I'm not one of like catching the turkeys and letting them, you know, throwing
Yeah.
them out of the field real quick or wherever they're at. But I think being aware and then having that conversation, because truth is sometimes people don't know when the turkeys don't know when they're being turkeys.
Sometimes. Sometimes. So I have a question for you.
Okay.
Wow, my coat looks wild back here.
Oh wait, Alana Mills on it.
Oh shit. Hey friends, y'all look cute. Thanks, Alana.
Thanks, Alana. We miss
Every
you.
picture of
Oh,
her,
speaking of cute,
yeah, she
Molly,
looks amazing. Elena looks amazing.
Alana looks
The baby
amazing, and
is
Molly is the
everything.
cutest.
They the family, you guys, you're perfect.
They are.
I wanna see this on, like, Ralph Lauren covers. I wanna see, like, they this, like,
I
you're
want to buy
perfect
picture
family.
frames and then be the stock photo in the picture frame, and then I'll never actually put my own family photo in it
Yes,
because I'll be like, no, the Milby's looking good in my picture frame. I don't need, you
yes.
know, I don't need to replace that. You don't need
Yeah.
to replace perfection.
You guys, Elena, you're stunning. You've always been stunning. Lately, you just look so peaceful and happy, and I love that, and
She does.
you
I told
you
her she looked so
go,
glowy
girl.
the other day.
Yeah, she does. Every time I see a picture of her, it's just like, and I'm like, "My gosh, girl, like, you look great." Uh,
We love
so
Alana.
when we're talking about the coffee shop, right?
Hmm.
Naturally, that's more of a hire fire situation.
Yeah.
Um, which, obviously with the extra steps, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, that's kinda how businesses are run.
If you're doing things appropriately and probably legally, then
We're
yes,
gonna be
hopefully
doing
there
business
is a
today, so hire
plan.
fire. So what I'm wondering, so thinking of community and
Yes.
thinking of, different community situations you've been in where it's not hire fire. It's, literally the doors you're walking in
Mm.
and people are there for the same reason. It sounds like church. I'm not talking about church, but I have no other example to give right now. I'm just thinking about church. But we're literally not going to talk about turkeys in church. So something else. Uh, in dealing with people in huge groups of people where it is really important to kind of like protect the overarching
Mm.
theme and vibe and making sure people are happy. What are your thoughts on protecting community in the way that you're not a business owner, but you're just heavily invested and somebody's like being weird. They're destroying the vision, they're destroying the philosophy.
Oh goodness. You know, we have to think about the context though. Like me, I'm very specific and like how close am I to this person? Like what, like I overanalyze, not like just a generalized
Well,
turkey
all right,
person.
let's start it then. Let's do it because we have time.
Okay. We do have
Let's
time. And
all
if
right.
anyone's watching, great. If not, we're hashing this out by
Oh,
ourselves.
there are millions of viewers right now. Uh, so I'm actually gonna write a note so I can keep track of it. So right now we're gonna talk about let's pretend you don't know the person. You're just
Okay.
stranger. So you're in a community, we'll do a creative community because that's what I I know best. So
Okay.
let's pretend you're in a creative community.
Okay.
We'll say an art gallery,
Okay.
right? And
Yeah.
people are just in this art gallery situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's pretend you don't know the person.
Mm.
How do you what's your dream scenario of handling a situation like that? Because how awkward is that?
Yeah.
This person we don't know really how they're acting because this is so hypothetical, but you have identified them as somebody who
If
is holding you back or holding the overarching vision and the overarching theme of the community back.
okay, so say I'm having an art show and it's my work on display. And this person comes rolling in
And
and
it's
they just
the
start
best work
hating.
in the entire display.
And they're hating on it, right? They're just like spewing all their
Yeah.
criticisms and what have you. For me, like, I think there's two options. I can't give like a clear cut. There's two options. One is where you just like completely are avoidant of that person, but you're
Okay.
internalizing what they're saying, you're hearing it, you're either
And
one choosing,
that's the holding you back.
yeah, and you're either choosing to believe it or you're choosing to dismiss it, but whatever is happening, you're internalizing it.
Right.
Otherwise, the other thing is maybe you go up and you introduce yourself to the person like, "Hi, I'm Brittany, and this is my work. I heard you had some very strong opinions on it, and I would love to hear your perspective. And then I would love to share my reasoning behind the work and hear what you think about that." And sometimes people feel like they can be turkeys when they feel anonymous
Yeah.
versus when they feel seen, because a lot of times it's easy to say things behind someone's back or um,
Via keyboard.
make comments to other people or to do it online in the comments section on a post. But when someone actually like introduces themselves and put a personal touch, it will really make someone think like, why did I just do that? Why did I say that? And maybe they're like, hey, actually I was being more extreme than I am, or maybe they really do have some valid points, like this work is crap and this is why I think so. And then you're like, hey, thank you for your feedback. I will think about that, but this is why I've done what I've done. And being able to stand behind your own work.
All right. So I love that because what I circled is that you confront them with kindness.
Yes.
Uh so this scenario, the B scenario. I I sorry, I just got a text from Natalie and she's just always so sweet. Anyway,
Oh, we do love
yeah,
Natalie.
she's great. Every time I get a text from her, I'm always just like doing
Hey,
something normal.
shop Fringe and Free for Christmas. She
Ocean
has
Freeze
literally
fantastic.
the cutest stuff on her website,
So good.
fringeandfree.com. She's amazing. We're just
She's
we're if
nice.
people are commenting and we know you, we're gonna be like name dropping your
She
business. So
she just texted me, it just showed up in the corner, and I was just like, "Natalie's nice." Uh,
ah,
so we're gonna confront them with kindness
yeah.
in that scenario.
hmm
This scenario B, all right?
Scenario B.
Yeah, so what I imagine is as a community leader in this, like, fake art gallery that we have, you probably don't have art in the show,
Mm,
but you're
true.
overhearing or you've observed behavior probably over a period
hmm
of time of somebody who's just, like, Mr. Nasty.
Mm.
Um,
We don't like Mr. Nasties.
we don't like Mr. Nasty. I took that from You've Got Mail. And he goes, "Shh, you don't want to be Mr. Nasty. I've been Mr. Nasty." I remember looking at his nails and going, "He looks dead." Like, he's awful. But anyway, so somebody's just, like, walking around just all smug, like, "Mm," like your art show or whatever. How would you handle that person from the perspective of, "Listen, this is unofficially my ship,
Mhm. Yeah.
and
Well, I mean,
how
if
would you
you're
do that?"
over the art gallery, like, you have authority in
This
that
is just
regard.
community, just community. Let's pretend it's
Just
just community.
community, just
Yeah.
community. I think there's times when you are responsible for a
Mhm.
community. So it's not necessarily ownership of a space, but
Yeah.
you have authority and you have respect and clout in a group of people. And it's your responsibility to protect people, the people that you care about. You know, if it's you and someone is inter, defeating that dynamic.
Yeah, Rob
Robert.
said, "You don't wanna be Mr. Nasty." I love that.
No,
Yeah.
you don't. Um, you know, there are times we have to take responsibility for others around us and for the environment around us.
Exactly.
And to be a leader and like a true leader, you have to be willing to have those hard conversations with people, um, and saying, hey, we really like having you a part of our group. However, there are some things going on that is really affecting the group dynamic. And this
Mhm.
is what's happening. And I think being able to be specific with people with turkeys is very important because, again, a lot of people live their lives very obliviously. Maybe they haven't been held accountable for anything, or, they just kind of fly by the seat of their turkey butts. And you have to
Yes.
like be like, hey, we would want you to stay in our group, but this behavior is causing a lot of harm to the majority, and we need it to change, or we're going to have to ask you to not come. You know,
Yeah.
um, there's nothing worse though than like excluding people, but there is a time when, for your own well-being and your own happiness and your own mental health, that you don't associate with certain types of turkeys.
Okay, so that's perfect segue, into the next
What a
scenario.
segue.
What I wrote here is that you should that an option to do if you're struggling with this. I assume everybody is. I think I think it's a, more common issue than you think.
Hmm.
Um, I honestly I can't think of a place I've ever worked besides Brainstorm Boutique where there hasn't been someone who is ruining my life because they're
Oh
just,
gosh.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be Kardashian about it, but they put you there,
Yeah.
you know? Eh, yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah.
So you say you should express concern about the group to them, confront
Yeah.
them about what they're doing to the group, and we're gonna try to get some empathy out of these people,
Hmm.
considering I know before I've been the turkey in the room, um,
Hmm.
and I know that when it was brought to my attention that I was using unsupportive language,
Mm.
um, thinking that it was funny is, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so just for we've had these conversations before. Why don't you clarify what supportive and unsupportive language is?
Oh, okay. So being supportive, I actually wrote this down. One second.
Segue, segue.
So supportive language is, um, phrasing things in such a way. We've got Amber again. She put, "Love how you open y'all are being about this topic. We've been turkeys before." Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. I
We're all turkeys.
we've all been there. I think that to say
Just
that you
trying not
haven't
to be a turkey.
if you say that you haven't been a turkey, you probably are one right now.
Ooh.
Can
No.
I be honest? It's probably true because you
Oh.
haven't identified, what that is, and so what I think is if you're being supportive,
Mm,
you're saying like supportive things. I going back to like that yes and attitude. You're
mm,
saying things that add and build and grow to the person. You're not using language that shrinks them in any way.
mm,
This includes this includes um, language that sounds supportive, but is actually imposing your ideas on somebody else's idea.
mm.
That's not supportive.
Okay.
Being supportive is hearing somebody's idea and allowing them to preserve their authenticity and
Mm,
encourage growth. All we're doing is watering. That's it.
mm,
We're not trying to like tape our own flowers on their stem, if that makes
mm.
sense.
Yeah.
Um, because it's not about what it looks, it's the
Mm,
feeling that you leave somebody with.
yeah.
Uh, think about that one.
I
While I
really liked
talk
your talk
about
about the taping your flowers on someone else's stem. I've never heard that before, and I think that's an
yeah,
amazing analogy. Um, yeah. Don't you go taping your flowers on my stem. I'm trying to grow over here. I got my own
yeah.
little
Well,
thing going.
okay, let's talk about it. Since we're on it, when you were starting Brainstorm Boutique, I know this had to have happened.
Mm.
People were like, they were like, and you know what you need? You need a petting zoo. You know what I mean? You're like, no, I don't need a petting zoo. And you feel weird because you know that they're stoked about your idea, but
Yeah.
they're being dumb. You know what I and that's just it. And just saying anything that's like, "Oh, I'm really excited about Brittany's, brainstorm idea. I told her to get a petting zoo." Y you know, and then they're like, check in on you about the petting zoo idea. And it's
Yeah.
like, that's not supporting me. Supporting me
Mm.
is respecting my vision, respecting
Yeah.
my philosophy and my ambition. And if you have something to add to it, I am allowed to take it or not.
Mhm. Yeah.
And we never have to check in about it. That is
Yeah.
supportive behavior.
You know, that's I'm just going to say real quick, this is interesting because when I brainstorm with people, a lot of times I am adding new ideas to them, but then I always preface like, these are my thoughts that you can take or not. But to me, I believe it will help your business grow. I hope it will, believe it will bring in, all these other things. But they're definitely like, if I would come in and be like, you have to do it this way, like no one would want to brainstorm with me because then that's not, this
Yeah,
fluid thing. But what happens is a lot of people, you do get excited about other people's ideas. So then you add your ideas on top of that and
yeah,
being able to also think to yourself, like, is that idea you're giving to them for them, or was it actually something for you
yeah,
to
yeah,
do? Like maybe you're saying I should start a petting zoo for all, the turkeys,
yeah.
but in reality, maybe you need to start the petting zoo.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of projection when people do that,
Hmm.
and my favorite thing to do, and I've taught this in a workshop before, my favorite thing to do in that situation when somebody, we'll just keep using that analogy because I love it. But when somebody's like, "Oh, Casey, like with your confidence coaching, maybe you should also, like have a petting zoo." My favorite thing to do is just go like, "Oh, that's like a really interesting idea. I appreciate you taking the time to give me that idea. I can't do it because, XYZ, I don't have any
I'm
land.
allergic.
I'm allergic to everything. Um, but you know what? You should start a petting zoo." And
Mm,
then usually in my Rolodex brain, I think of somebody I know related to
mm,
petting zoos, and I prompt them to call that person, and they never do.
mm.
I go, "You know what? You should talk to my friend, like, I don't know, Gerald." I don't know. I don't know anyone named Gerald, so it felt safe. My friend Gerald, and, about the petting zoo idea, like, blah, 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 blah. And then every time, that's when they start backing up because they know that they gave you
Mm.
crap.
Yeah.
You handed me crap. You won't do it because it's crap.
You handed me turkey crap.
You handed me turkey crap. Now I'm covered in it. We both played in it. Now we both smell like it.
Oh,
Hate that.
man.
I hate a
Please.
huge pet peeve. Huge pet peeve.
Ah.
I so we're gonna
Well,
go.
and that's not to say like you should never like offer ideas, but it's always in the context of which you're offering
Oh
it
yeah,
to.
100%.
There's definitely like, hey, if you've got a great suggestion, like always open for it, but being being mindful of what you're throwing out to people and how it actually aligns with them and their mission and their vision. I know a lot of people though aren't trained in that. They don't really know
Yeah.
to think about that. They just say stuff without actually thinking about the strategy or the meaning
Yeah.
behind it.
And I was just thinking probably a really good analogy for this would be Rindleman's orchards. I bet they
Mm,
get that all the time. And there's a
oh
lot of
yeah.
stuff that they can do.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the same as petting zoo to, digital nomad brainstorming boutique. But you think about probably, the crazy off the wall suggestions she gets
Mm,
because and then the ones that probably stick, like them
yeah.
doing donuts. I don't know how that idea came about, um, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
But it takes a long time to be able to prepare your space to make donuts.
Mm,
You can't do that tomorrow, you know?
yeah.
So I'm curious, like, how often she gets, like, she probably does get the petting zoo comment.
Yeah, and she's actually
Has
has
she
like a
had 'em?
little petting zoo there. I don't know if you can
Okay,
pet
yeah,
them, but she
but
does have, like goats and all that
yeah,
stuff, little
or,
baby
like,
goats.
Scratch Brewery probably gets that too. They're like,
Yeah,
you want
yeah.
this place you Ferris wheel. You should have a Ferris wheel. Just do
Let's
it.
not think about the logistics or the
Yeah.
budget
Oh, don't
or
worry.
where it's
Don't
actually
worry.
going to go or the
Yeah, the
safety
insurance. Yeah.
and all that stuff that's involved. You should do that.
Yeah,
Another thing when it comes to comments is not necessarily like thrusting other ideas onto other people, but a lot of times it's like those. I know it's such a, little like buzzword, but like microaggressions that you say to other people who are business owners. And we've all have heard that because
yeah,
I know, when I started my business and I've been in business for probably about 6 months by the time things, are going really well. And then I had someone who made the comment, and how's your little business going? And it
stop
was like,
doing that.
it's actually going really well. And it's like taking it and like the way it was said suddenly like diminished it. And then
Yeah,
I either had to feel small because I was, or not, I'm all about small business, but like feeling small
yeah,
is different than actually, being a one person team and stuff like that. And then feeling like I had to defend, how good my business was doing because I didn't want them looking at me like that or saying it in that way.
yeah,
Um, and then feeling like I had to really show that it was
yeah.
going really well, and no one needs that. No one needs that going on. Um, Whoa.
Flo, we don't go around saying, "How's your little job?"
Ah, yes.
It's true.
Oh my gosh, but shout out to Flo. I said it
Yeah,
earlier, Flo. I don't know if you're watching,
you're
but
part of
she personally dropped off my crude carnivore crate that I
Oh,
bought
cute.
through her Small Business Saturday or Black Friday special on her website. It is literally the cutest thing on the planet. I posted a picture on my personal page and in my social media, but the cutest, like she always Flo is so creative, and I feel so honored that I got to be a part of her brand revamp because once we revamped it, like she just knows what to do. She knows what to do with her logo. She's so confident
Yeah,
and creative and what to do with those pieces of her branding to just make the coolest stuff. So go Flo. I see
yeah,
you. I'm proud
they
of
look
you.
great. She just said, "You're the best, so sweet." And Rob said, "I'd be big mad." And it is,
Someone said your little job. Yeah, because you're
yeah,
freaking doctor. Or
yeah. He's going to be a doctor in March.
could you imagine going to a doctor and going, "So how's your little doctor
Here's your
job
little
going?"
job. How's your little? Flo said, "Thank you, ladies. You're welcome." I so going back to all of that and just like understanding the language that you use,
Hmm.
it's when, as I've said, recovering turkey, I've been there before where
Yeah.
um, I wasn't in that habit yet. It wasn't a heartbeat for me. I will say the best thing that you can do is to habitually change your language.
Hmm.
Um, Make sure that the things that you're saying are more intentionally supportive,
Hmm.
and it kind of just starts being part of your life, and understanding how important it is that when you leave someone that they feel good
Yeah.
sincerely, that they sincerely feel good, that you were yourself, and that you showed the best part of yourself. Rob put, "Think before you speak." It's
Hmm.
true. And if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. I'm very silent on a lot of things. I am. I am. I used to
Ah.
post a lot more back in my turkey days.
Let's call it the turkey 20s.
The turkey 20s. Now I'm in my macaw 30s.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's too
But
funny.
yeah, I think that that's a really important thing to do. If you identify yourself as, if you identify as a turkey,
It's okay.
I think it's really
Just
really
change.
important. The just change, just right now, just change, just change.
Straight up.
Uh, yeah, 1, 2, 3, different. I I I would I I would do what I did, which was actively change your language to where you might as well be speaking a totally different language by saying the phrase, "How's your little business?" It's just
Hmm.
not part of you. You don't say that. You don't have to say little before business. That's weird.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense. With businesses, size does not matter.
That's right.
So we don't have to say little business. It doesn't have to exist.
You
Um,
know, especially when there's so much pride in being a small business,
yeah,
like, let's just use the word small business.
yeah,
Because that has a positive connotation. Like we have, society and communities have taken ownership of the phrase small business. And, that's why with my business, I really stress the small business, big dreams,
yeah,
because being small is not being little.
yeah. I think I still wouldn't say, "How's your small business going?"
Probably not.
I feel like I know what I'm trying to do there,
Yeah.
you know? Like, and
Well, and I guess that is the thing. Is like tone and inflection obviously has a lot to do
yeah,
with things. Um, but, if you're typing something out, then you can't
yeah,
always tell tone.
backspace it. Or backspace it with an apology.
Mm.
It's so easy to do. In, you know, improv and all that, sometimes you start a sentence out and you just finish it bad. Sometimes you just got something and you're just like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah," and then you're like, "Yeah," and then you're like, "Wow, that was awful and unexpected, and I'm really sorry about that." That's okay. That is okay. I think it's really important to get in those habits, really, really good habits to get into. Like I said, supportive language is something that adds, it's something that helps people grow, it's something that waters. We are not
And
taking
another thing,
flowers or cutting
when
anything down.
when you are in a group where you're all turkeys, how many times have we been in a group where everyone's a turkey?
Brent
You know?
says, "Story of my life." I don't know to what part. I don't know
We'll
to what
find out.
part.
We'll talk about it at
Yeah.
the Christmas party, Brent. Um, but a lot of times you can find yourself around a multitude of turkeys, and either you're already a turkey or they turn you into a turkey by association,
Oh gosh.
um, and
Hashtag
um,
this part.
um,
Oh, Brent says I always
mm,
misspeak.
mm.
It's habits, man. I've been there. You gotta get in better habits. I don't know when you misspoke. I haven't been around. I can't, uh, broadcast something funny right now, which I would. Those are my
Save.
stepbrothers. Steve Bickett and Brent Beckett are our stepbrothers, so we're allowed to do this if anybody else does it. Simply turkey.
um, but sometimes you can find yourself in a group of turkeys, and
Yeah,
either you're already a turkey or you become a turkey by association.
turkey
And
based is the
turkey
worst.
by association. And then before you know it, you're saying things, you're making comments, you're turkey talking, you know?
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
talking turkey.
yeah.
And it's you have choices to either consciously be like, you know what, guys, actually, I don't want to participate in this talk, or hey, let's focus on something, you know, maybe positive about this person. Hopefully, we're not talking about people and we're talking about ideas and things like that. But when you find yourself in a midst of turkeys, like it is, and you become aware of it, like it really is on you to either A, change the group, change the birds you're hanging out with,
Yeah.
or deciding to be the eagle in that turkey group and lift those turkeys up with you.
So interesting. Interesting segue. Let's get through these comments really quickly. Brent said LOL at my get zoom into the camera and get angry. I Brent also said love it. And then our mommy said gobble gobble, which I thought in my head, I don't don't crap where you gobble. I don't know how it fits or if it's even relevant. Mom says just change the nest.
Mm.
We're just doing all every time we say turkey, drink a glass of water. You'll be very hydrated by the end of this.
Yes, the best
But,
turkey drinking game.
uh,
Hydrate.
yeah,
Water.
hydrate, especially after all the salt on Thursday.
Ooh,
So let's go back to our art gallery, uh,
okay.
back to our community. We went through, if you don't know them, you can confront them with kindness.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if you're in even bigger responsibility, express concern about the group to the turkey.
Mm.
So let's pretend you do know them. This is a
Okay.
friend.
Okay. Are you being a turkey?
No. I'm not
Is
ready for
Brent
this.
being a turkey?
I'm too fragile. No
Is Brent
family
being a
members.
turkey?
You know what's funny is that when I moved up here to Canada, I I made up this fictitious character named Emily, and I said that, "No," Rob says, "I'll be the turkey. I appreciate your sacrifice, sir. We have this handled." And so this fictitious girl, Emily, uh, is like the
Gets
new
blamed
daughter
for
for mom.
everything.
Yeah, she's the new daughter, and I was always like, "Oh, you're just gonna like, like everyone wants mom to be their mom, and I understand it, and that's fine, but she's not your mom, she's absolutely our mom. It's fine. It doesn't make me mad at all." Anyway,
We're on the
so
verge of turkey talk.
I need to check my feathers. So
Ah,
yeah, mom says, "Ha ha ha, Emily." So let's pretend it's Emily.
okay.
Um,
Emily's fictitious, completely
she's fictitious,
fictitious.
completely fictitious.
Yes. Okay, so
So
Emily's being a turkey.
Emily's being a turkey, and you thought Emily was cool.
Mm,
Let's say
mm,
you were the one who was like, "Hey, Emily, you're cool. You should meet my friends. Come
mm-hmm,
to my art gallery at, XYZ
mm.
and meet everyone." Emily comes. Maybe, I don't know what she did, but you're hearing from, maybe you didn't even hear from people, maybe you don't have specific examples,
Mhm.
but you're looking at how she's interacting with people and you're going, "Ah, Emily,
Mm,
um, we're gonna pretend you've known her for a long time
mm.
and you're bringing her in." What do you do? What do you think's the best course of action? I think we have all been here.
Oh, oh dear. I know, and I don't think I've always done the noble thing all the time
Yeah,
in those situations.
let's pretend that you're, the bravest, most noble version of yourself, which is
If
completely completely difficult in these situations.
I think if I was being the bravest part of myself, the thing to do would say, "Hey, Emily, I really thought, you were going to enjoy this time with me and, my friends, and I really wanted you to get to know these individuals. Um, However, I feel like maybe you're not clicking with them because of this situation."
Could you
And say,
imagine hearing
do
that?
you do you personal like is there a reason why? Like sometimes,
Yeah.
and honestly, there's just some people who are always going to be a freaking turkey. Like I know people who
Ugh.
like I will say I really truly try to really curate, not really curate, but really be conscious of who is in my friend group so I'm not around turkeys. I really have. Because I know people who they're getting ready to hang out with someone who's in their friend group, but they're literally having anxiety about being around this person because this person
Yeah,
talks down to them, this person belittles them. And there's all these reasons why this person's still in their space. And for me, I'm like, well, why would you put yourself in that scenario to begin with? Honestly, the reality is that if someone's been around treating people in a way that I'm not proud to have that person with me, probably just would simply not invite them again. I don't know if that's right, and I don't know if that's the right way to handle it. But then if they wanted to reach out to me and ask why, then I can have that conversation. But the bravest part of me would want to confront it and say, you know, are you aware that you are treating these people this way? We would
okay.
love to have you here, but we feel like maybe you don't want to be here. And that's okay if you don't. You don't have to. Like, you're a free person.
Alright. So I love that in the scenario, she's at this art gallery, and she's just being rude and, holier than thou, or like, "Nyeh, nyeh, nyeh, nyeh."
Pecking away and flapping her
Yeah,
wings.
I don't know why "nyeh, nyeh." We all know "nyeh, nyeh, nyeh," we all know that. We've all done it. Um, Mom put, "I feel accountable if I bring someone like that. I'd have to leave early with her, give relief to everyone else." That's a
Mm.
good one.
I
That's a
know,
good
this
one.
is why our mom is the best.
She's an
Because
eagle.
she knows how to she
She's
knows
been
how
there,
to
turkey
handle
that.
things.
She's been there, turkey that.
Yeah,
Uh, so I love that.
I do like that.
So let's say she isn't enjoying them and that's what you do. So you confront them about being rude, or you take it the mom route and you're like, "Oh, Emily, you know what? I just had too much, I had too much to drink. I need you to drive me home, like whatever." You know what I mean? Or whatever you want to do to get them out of that situation in a way that protects everyone. Um, Playing drunk at an art gallery, probably not the best thing. I don't know.
Could
I
be
don't
bad,
know.
actually.
Mom says the "do unto others" golden rule. It's true. So, or you could just be like, "Oh, I like accidentally," you could be like me. "Oh, I accidentally ate gluten. Oh my gosh, I accidentally ate gluten. Gotta go home. Take me home. I literally cannot drive." I so undid
Oh
that.
gosh.
Anyway, so she isn't enjoying them. Let's pretend she is enjoying them and they're enjoying her. scenario. She is
Like
stealing she is taking the ship.
turkey mutiny? Like
It's a
I'm
coup.
like sorry. Oh Lord. That's too much, actually. That was too much for me. I don't know if I can continue.
That was really funny.
So they all become turkeys.
Rob just said, I just audibly at laughed. Okay, so,
So let me understand this. She's being a turkey and they join her in their turkeyness?
let's say,
Or
Tom
they're
said,
just like
"You 2 are
inviting the
great."
turkey?
Thank you, Tom. You're great too.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Tom
I
is not a turkey.
Tom's not a turkey. Nobody in these comments. I have not detected one
No.
turkey.
And we're really good at sniffing them out.
We're here. We're here to do it. We're here to tell the truth. So
This is
I
not backed by
say
science or anything.
this is absolutely not scientifically anything. Um,
These are
so
just our opinions.
just your opinions. Oh, mom's got one more. Water reaches its own level. Either they
Mm.
are turkeys or eagles. Then you have to figure out what you are.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh, Mom.
That was some wax on, wax off. Truth knowledge. So
Wow.
this is a scenario.
Okay.
Right? I know you've been here.
Okay.
They're not
Detail.
flipping anybody to turkeys.
No one's turning turkeys. Okay.
No, we're all good people here. We have Emily. Emily
Emily's
walks
still a
in.
turkey, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Emily walks in with you to this art gallery event. Maybe it's been over the course of several weeks she's been acting weird with these people. I don't know. But you notice that her philosophy, her vision doesn't align for the greater good of the group or the
Mm.
community, right? You just know, you
Mm-hmm.
just only you know this.
Okay.
Everybody loves her. Let's pretend Emily's just fun and vibrant and doing the thing, but she is breaking down the integrity of the group
Mm.
somehow, some way.
Yeah,
Um,
I know people like that where it's like they say something and it's almost kind of like double-sided where you don't like was I feel
yeah.
bad, but I
Why do I
don't
feel
have
anxious?
proof,
It
like I
could
don't have
never
a
be
reason.
Emily.
What's that?
It could never be Emily. She's so much fun. Oh,
Yeah.
Rob put Yoda, and then he put distractive charisma. Ooh, it was a good
Ooh,
one. Yeah.
that is
So
really
let's keep
good.
this up. Distractive charisma.
Distractive charisma. Okay.
So let's pretend I think we're on the same page now.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it. So what would I do in that scenario?
Yeah, how are you going to everyone's enjoying her and she's enjoying her. Do you
There's
leave
no
your community
reason for
or
me to add negativity to that moment because guess what? Then Emily just turned me into a turkey, right?
yeah,
And
turkey suck.
I I don't want Turkey Association.
Yeah.
Turkey Association, they can have their own membership. Like I'm not paying membership dues to that. So
You're
with
we're doing anything we want.
what?
We're doing whatever we want with this turkey stuff, like whatever we want. This turkey nights. We got it.
Turkey talk.
Sorry,
So
sorry, you guys.
I'm not a member of the Turkey Association, and
Yeah,
as long as I'm watching my people and no one is feeling hurt or they're not expressing any um, unhappiness with the dynamic, it's not on me to suddenly go, Emily's being a turkey. Emily's being a turkey.
yeah,
Everyone stop. Emily's being a turkey. Oh, you don't think so? Let me tell you why. And then
yeah,
just like da 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 why Emily's a turkey. It's really on me to assess and be like, if I'm going to spend time with this group that I care about, probably don't want Emily there. But if everyone likes Emily and they continue to invite Emily and they're not aware of her turkey behavior, then that is a personal call on when you want to bring yourself into those social situations. Um, I don't believe it's my place to tell people who they can and cannot associate with, you know?
Hmm.
So then it's just a conscious choice on myself internally on when I put myself in those scenarios and when I don't. I don't know if that made any sense,
It does make
but
sense.
I'm not sounding the turkey alarm, I'm not doing it.
You're not going to be a
If everyone's
whistleblower.
oblivious, now if they're all aware and they're like, Brittany, Emily's being a turkey, then I'm responsible for Emily and then I have to handle it.
Yeah. I feel like, oh, well, we got mom says, love that. I think she said that to the distractive charisma,
Hmm.
and then said, at the right time, refresh what the vision and mission is, then redirect. I like that too.
Yeah.
Um, and Stephanie Harrington's waving. Hello,
Hey,
Stephanie.
Stephanie. Stephanie graduated with me at SIU.
Oh,
She's
thank you for
an
watching.
amazing graphic designer out in the Boston area.
That's very
So,
cool.
Stephanie, thank you for watching. That makes me so happy. We need to have
So,
Stephanie on here sometime. She does some amazing projects that I'm not allowed to talk about. So, there we have
oh,
it. See, Steph?
well, now you have to be on. Now we gotta know. I so
She's
you would say, huh?
Go ahead.
So you would say, in that situation, Emily has destructive charisma.
Hmm.
You would say that you would be internally questioning the group and wait it out.
I would probably just have to see where things go because your true colors always come to surface at some point. And if someone is a turkey, they can only be disguised as, like, I don't know, a cardinal for a little bit until all the feathers pop out. And then it's like, oh, there's a turkey, you know?
Yeah,
And maybe they being around that group might help shift them over to the ego part.
maybe. Stephanie says, "You're the best. I'll have to go back and watch this turkey talk." Thank you. And if you're watching this
Thank you,
replay now,
Stephanie.
thank you for listening. Uh,
Yes.
so in that, I'm trying to phrase what I want to say. Sometimes I think I've had friends like this. I've had friends that you're like, "Oh, I thought you were cool." And then everybody's like, you know, we love what they are, Like there's something that seems like I don't know other word other than just like sexy about those kinds of
Mm.
personalities. Like, oh, I'm just like this Audrey Plaza who just walks in here and I'm like, this is dumb. Whatever, you're dumb. Oh, I'm low energy and you're dumb. And everyone's like, "Oh my god, this girl just said I'm dumb. What? That's amazing. I want to marry her. Let's reproduce." And you're like, "What?" They, gone are the days of like just being sweet,
Mm.
and that being celebrated. And I'm curious, like, when because that's kind of how I feel an Emily would be in the scenario. You know what I mean? That like, oh, like this is just some sort of like interesting personality, even though they're like trash.
Okay, let me say, anyone who's
Unsupportive,
watching who just started, Emily is a
fictitious
fictional
character.
character. I can't even
Fictional.
talk.
Fictitious.
Fictional character.
Yeah, just made her up.
Emily is not a real person. We love lots of Emilys in real
But
life.
but I
So,
feel like
yes.
that unsupportive behavior to people, especially who come from supportive group dynamics, commonly
Mhm.
supportive group dynamics, they see that and then they're like, "You know what? I need that." Like all of that,
Sometimes, look,
I need it.
here's the reality. Like, it takes all kinds to make the world go around, and some people gravitate towards individuals like that. I think there comes a difference though whenever that and there's a lot of really positive, peppy people who are sneakily turkey attacking you. Like, it's just being aware of who brings your energy up, who brings your feelings up, and then who drains that from you. And knowing when you're interacting with other people, are you intentionally doing the same to them because maybe you're seeing them glow a
Yeah.
little too bright? You're like, that Atlanta Milby's just looking too glowy. I'm gonna have to
Oh, we would
snuff a little bit
never.
out.
We would
Never. No one is to ever do that. But I'm
no
just
one
saying,
ever talk about Atlanta
someone
that
could be
way.
looking at someone from a distance and see the glow and they want to
Yeah.
just take it down a
So
notch.
something that my boyfriend that he uses often, he calls them energy vampires.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I always think that that's really, really good because it's very literal to how it
Mm-hmm.
feels being around people like that. Because, like you were saying earlier, like there's a lot of people that don't recognize that they actually are experiencing anxiety before they hang out with a person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you should never be nervous to see your friend. You should be
No.
excited, but
Yeah.
you shouldn't actually be nervous. And you shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
feel like, you have to hold different parts of yourself before you see your friend, mother, anybody, you know?
Yeah.
I think that that's just a really, really important distinction to make.
Yeah.
Um,
And I just like to say, if I ever make someone feel that way, like, I would hope that they would come to me and say, hey, I think, we're friends and all this stuff, but I feel this way when you're around me because maybe, people could do something that makes other people feel a certain way without being intentional. But I think we know when someone's being intentional with their words,
yeah,
directed at that person to make them feel small. Now, if someone is doing something and it makes us feel small that they're doing something, then that's our own issues to work through. There's a lot of times where we can actually feel small because someone's doing something maybe we aspire to do or we would love to do. And then I guess that's jealousy, but
yeah,
that can be but that's something we have to deal with,
yeah,
rather than it being like a direct, um, imposed thought or feeling on somebody.
absolutely. Brent said, we all have holes and we all leak something. And then gratefully, he said, in that we're vessels. Mom says, preach. Mom also says, my boss is the best at being an eagle and encouraging everyone around her to be the same. Mom does have a really great boss.
She
I
does.
do too.
Me too.
I so in all of this, um, something another point that I wanted to make, and I know that we're running low on time,
That's okay.
but turkeys will wreck the good people that you have and keep good people from coming in.
Mm, interesting.
So, how many times have you looked into like so how many times have you looked into like a friend group or something and you've been like, so and so's going,
Hmm.
I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry you guys haven't realized that yet. Just can't do it,
Yeah.
you know? Or so and so works there. Oh man, I know, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like I can't. I can't.
Yeah. Or
And
not wanting to talk to them if you run into them at the grocery store.
oh yeah,
Um,
anything like that.
Robert, he commented, "Whoa,
Yeah.
here." Yeah.
So it's funny. I was talking to Joel about it, and his number was that one turkey can turn away five potential talent.
Ooh.
So, or have five people quit, whatever it is,
Mm,
talented people leave. before
Yep.
the turkey every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That's so true.
and I thought that that was like a really interesting point. He's, since he has 2 companies, he's a boss, he manages staff.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's had moments where, he's had to deal with these really weird situations and figuring out what is going on with my staff right now
Mm-hmm.
and figuring out, like, what you know what I mean? Like, what's
Yeah.
going on here is all I can really
Yeah.
say, but,
Yeah. Because I think a lot of times, we want to give people chances and opportunities to grow. But then there are times when you have to realize some people are never going to change. I've had that with previous coworkers at places. Like at one point there was, a lady who I worked with, and it's just anything I did.
yeah,
She was not going to support anything. And I remember one time, I just looked at her and I said, I'm just trying to be your friend and you're not allowing me to. And I can't
yeah.
control that. I can't make you like me and I can't make you want to be my friend. And I don't know why that is, but I can't own that anymore.
That's a lot of
Like
stress in your
that's on
day.
you.
That was when
It
you were
was
in
a
customer
lot.
service, right?
Yeah. And
That's
so
hard.
when that happens, like, there does come a time when you do have to stand up to the turkeys and be like, look, I'm just trying to be good to you, but for whatever reason, you're not allowing that.
Yeah.
And I can't help you. I can't make you like me, and that's okay. And sometimes you also have to know you're not for everybody, and don't put yourself in situations where you're going to leave feeling bad about yourself for no reason.
Well, and I think that that's where it comes into play. So first of all, we got comments. Rob says, "Whoa," and he says, "Joel preaching, hunty." And mom said, "Exactly." And Brent said, "Joel's a smart dude. He is a really smart person."
Yeah.
So going back to the original first thought, isn't it more important for leadership to vet turkeys and to vet um, community members so then everybody else can relax, enjoy their day, and be productive? From not
I
even from like an ethical standpoint, from even
mhm.
just a capitalist standpoint.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do that that day. You probably could have gotten more done. I've been
Mhm.
there before where I had to confront a manager actually.
Yeah.
And I was shaking so bad because you're so mad and there are customers right there.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You have things to do. I have things to do today. And I'm always a service first person. So for a customer to ever see me not beaming is
Mhm.
hurt. I hate it. I hate it. That's the reason. That's how I get hired is by saying I'm always friendly, always professional. Um, and it hurts your day. And I remember shaking so bad that I had to like go to the back for a while.
Mm.
Who knows how many customers didn't get served, how many people walked
Yeah.
in. But I was so busy at focusing on this stupid interpersonal conflict with somebody who should
Mhm.
not have been a manager
Mhm.
when ownership is standing right there that I couldn't do my job effectively. Each person typically bought $20 worth of stuff, 20 to $30 worth of stuff. 5 people didn't get served. Let's you know what I mean? That's $100.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
it it and
And how many
eventually
people don't come to work?
yeah,
They call in sick, they have some excuse because they don't want to deal with some kind of anxiety
or
or
selling
walking
stuff.
around on eggshells for somebody. You know,
Yeah,
obviously, what we talked about a lot earlier was very much like the personal, the community, turkeys like that. But definitely in a work scenario, when it comes to the turkeys, I always believe one, if you hired them, there was something you saw in them to hire them in the first place. So it is absolutely on you to confront the behavior and give them a path to growth and give them a timeline to do it. It can't just be one day. It needs to be hit these milestones. Like, this is what I need to see from you to know that you um, are the right person for this job because I believed in you when I hired you. Also, if someone just doesn't care, then if they don't care enough about themselves to bring their best every day, then they don't care about your mission, your vision, and your business, and they need to go find another place that they align with.
So now I'm going to tell you, bring you around to one more point.
Oh boy.
And this isn't necessarily a turkey point, but I feel like it's valuable here.
Okay.
Wouldn't you say that there's a ton of truth then in the statement that it's more important to work on your community if you're in a leadership standpoint?
Mm-hmm.
We'll say community and business, pretty, very, very parallel terminology. That it's more important to work on your community than to work in your community. Work on your business, not in your business. Because if I am a barista in my own coffee shop or whatever, I might not be noticing the interpersonal communication or have time for it. So I might just be more of like, "Oh, okay, like just trying to get through my day and not realizing that I haven't made space to actually approach these kinds of situations.
Um,
Or
I
even the
don't
art
know,
gallery. You know,
because I
if I'm so
also
busy. I'm sorry. Well, 1 second, let me,
okay.
because I think I'm gonna round out this thought a little more. So, like, if we're doing the art gallery community thing, I feel like it would be more important for me as a leader to be the one who is, um, making decisions and mingling and making sure things are going well than
Mm-hmm.
to busy myself with hanging the paintings,
Yeah.
right?
I think sometimes, though, if you're two step back from those interpersonal dynamics, then you don't always see what goes on. And then you have people come to you and tell you, hopefully, if your communication's good. I think what's really most important is allowing a space to talk to people and giving them room to share without
Okay.
judgment.
Yeah.
Um, because if things are going good, like, you don't have anything negative to share, you know? But if things are not going good, then you need to be able to feel comfortable, like you can talk about things honestly. Um, I think that's the most important thing is being able to have that open communication with your community. And that way they know that there is room for people to talk in a very clear way.
Just being approachable in general.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, I do like to see people who have a business to actually know how their business works and getting their hands dirty and doing what needs to be done. Maybe not on a daily basis, but enough to stay relevant and humble and then really truly understanding the day to day that their staff endures. And that way you can relate to them when they come to you with an issue or with a thought for improvement. I think all that stuff's very important. So I think there's a fine balance to both,
Yeah.
depending on what kind of business you're running, of course.
Yeah, I would say it's very, um I think it's scale too.
Hmm.
If you had, um, you know, let's say you hired another person and that other person was like, "Casey's kinda rude to me. I don't really like
Hmm.
her." Um, it wouldn't it wouldn't be detrimental to you, you know what I mean? Like, to, like, be out on the floor or whatever. But I feel like if you had, like, 100 employees, you're gonna be having so many things to do.
Hmm.
Really just running the company and making sure decisions are made are probably in your best interest. I wouldn't even say 100, I would say probably 10. I would say probably 10 is the most employees you can have and, be able to actually work and also be able to oversee that, like, you're vetting everybody properly.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know. I think, and that probably just varies by business generally.
I think so. I'm going to
I
throw in a little bachelor analogy here. How many turkeys end up being in the group of guys or in the group of women? And how many times can they actually get so far before the group as a whole says, hey, we have a problem? They go to the bachelor or the bachelorette and like, we got a problem with this person. They're being a turkey. And we know that they're not a good fit for the culture. And then decisions are made and
only
it's up to
Aaron.
that person. Huh?
Only Aaron, and we all know what happened to Olu when he did it.
Oh man. Okay, if you're not a Bachelor fan, I'm
Did
sorry,
not
but
apply.
need not apply.
Did not apply. But
Well, I think the most important thing is being able to assess when there is a turkey in your midst and when you're going around gobble, 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 being a turkey yourself. And realizing that self-awareness is so important and there's no shame in acknowledging and making the choice to grow and to do other things to make you less of a turkey.
yeah,
And, there's going to be times when your turkey side pops out. I just think that's part of life, but I think it's also knowing, like, if you purposefully make someone feel a certain way, then knowing to own that and take accountability and then move forward. I think I'm always want to believe in redemption and giving people a second chance and a third chance if needed,
I
because
said
we're all just
189
kind of
chances
learning.
with me.
We're, we're all learning and figuring it out, and it's also like, nature versus nurture. Like maybe you're not naturally born a turkey, but you've just always been surrounded by turkeys, or maybe you naturally were born a turkey and you're surrounded by eagles, just
Yeah.
figuring out how all those things play with each other and just making those conscious decisions.
Yeah, I think that I definitely agree with what you're saying. Um, I think that there is a point where if it's a coworker, if it's a
Hmm.
friend, if it's an employee, you have to release the responsibility to, or not only the responsibility, I would say, I think a lot of people struggle with this, or I'm alone. The urge the urge to mother them in some
Hmm.
way, to try to
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, I'll fix you, don't worry, young," you know what I mean? Like, or, "Oh, they're grumpy, I'm gonna make the one to make them happy.
Hmm.
Um, I'll be the one." And, you know, even going back to the energy vampire term, it's really easy when you set that the boundary is like, "Oh, 3 strikes, you're out," I think is a good one.
Hmm.
I think when you have the boundary of like, "I wanna watch you grow and be," it's like, okay, so well, let's say it was me. My vision is to watch them grow and be. Meanwhile, they're completely destroying my best talents day.
Hmm. Well, that's why though you have that conversation and then you set those parameters.
Yeah,
These have to be these have to be the changes that have to be done, because then we can't tolerate this anymore. And I
yeah,
think that's the most important thing is, hey, we see you being in Turkey. You're affecting the way things are going here. We
yeah.
must see this change in you by, really right now. We need to see it. And
Yesterday.
yeah,
I wanna be that kind
yesterday.
of a boss. I wanna be like,
Yeah.
"Give me coffee, I needed it yesterday."
But I think that's where you can have both, where you can have an opportunity for redemption while giving someone an opportunity to grow, but then also know where your boundaries lie and where the line is.
Yeah, I
So
like that. I like
I
that.
th- I think parameters are important. I think what's the worst thing is saying you're out, and that person's like, they're looking in the mirror and they think they're a penguin, you know, because
I can't handle
they
it.
they were raised with a bunch of
No,
penguins and they think they're a
they don't
penguin,
know.
but no one's ever said, no, honey, actually you're a turkey. So, that's
Oh,
very important.
Natalie says, which we were talking to you about you at the beginning
We
when
were,
you texted
Natalie.
me. I was like talking about something real serious, and then like the text came through on my laptop, and I was like, Natalie texted me, and then I was like, sorry. Natalie says, I would love an example of a conversation with a turkey, especially a family member who doesn't respect the boundaries and where to go from
Oof.
there. I love it. I
That's,
love it. I
oof.
Oh gosh,
Do we even have
Brittany.
time for that conversation?
Oh gosh, where do we begin?
Natalie, we need to just, me, you, and Casey need to get on Zoom. I don't
Yeah,
think the three of us have really, well, she was on our show, but I mean, the three of us just
she
like,
was on your show,
Britt
and
just like, go ahead.
yeah, Brent, go ahead. All right, so all right, crack my knuckles. Ugh.
Oh, we're gonna have to do a
Another,
Cliff's
we've got
Note
more.
version of this.
Okay, so I gotta pull my chair up for it, and these are heavy chairs. Brent says chicken.
No, we're talking
What?
about turkeys.
So Brent in the comments tonight called me a chicken. That's some turkey talk.
Some
Example of a
turkey
family
talk.
member turkey talking. Anyway, not wanting to egg anything on. I am
Oh
so
dear.
good at this.
Oh gosh.
I so Natalie, I would say that an example of a conversation with a turkey, especially a
With
family
boundaries.
member. Oh gosh.
Well, I
I
think
almost wish we
I
had like a
think
private chat right now.
we have a private conversation.
We should
But
get
I
into
will just say, I think it's very similar to what we were discussing with the business, because I think if it's a family member and you have
well,
history,
let's forget we don't know if Natalie just came on. She probably did. She probably just
yeah,
came on.
yeah.
So let's backtrack to the business talk really
Well,
quick.
that's what I'm saying. Is like if it's
Okay,
someone,
yeah,
if
sorry.
it's a family member, I'm going to use that as the parameters for this. And it's someone you have history with, right? If they're a family member, there's obviously some kind of history, there's obviously some kind of connection. I believe it goes the same way where it's, hey, sister, cousin, mom, dad, whatever. Like, you're being a turkey to me. I love you. However, these things have affected me. And I need you to be aware of this behavior that makes me feel this way. Um, and then being able, and I know you're supposed to, I know psychology says you use I statements, so like all these things, which I'm not good at saying
But
live, but it's saying, to me, it's hitting it head on, saying
yeah,
how we can fix it, and then how do we move forward from here. I think that's important. Not everybody's going to receive that, because the truth is sometimes when we're the closest to people, we don't handle those checks on ourselves very well.
yeah.
So, but that would be my recommendation. Casey, what would you do? What's your
So I would say, oh gosh,
I am not licensed in
I'm
anything in any way. So I'm just giving my opinions.
I just do like liberal arts. I
Just a designer and a branding strategist.
so I would say it depends on the severity and
Mm-hmm.
how many strikes
Yeah.
we're at. I tend to not go any strikes anymore. Tends to be a foul ball is a year out anymore in my life. I I think that if somebody is a turkey to you, um, putting you down, making you feel small,
Mm-hmm.
or me, the way I usually, the way, which is so sad to say, the way I usually respond when my family members are talking down to me, the way I usually respond is I take their statement and I turn it around, depending on what it is, and reflect it at them. So, similar to when somebody comes up to me, and we'll just use comedy as an example because it's not what I'm actively doing now, so I don't feel like
Mhm.
vulnerably attached to it. So somebody comes up to me, this is something I get a lot. They'll be like, "Oh, you know what? Uh, remember whenever you were young and you like wet the bed? You should write a sketch about being a bedwetter." And then you go, you know what? That's actually a really good idea. I really don't have the capacity to write a sketch about, me being a bedwetter, but you could, and I'm really excited about reading that. Or people will do this whole thing with improv, especially. Improv is not easy. Improv is very, very difficult to do. I have had people come visit me whenever I was doing improv, and they get a little belligerent and a little cocky, and they've been like, "Oh, improv's easy. Improv's so easy. Oh, you know what I would have done? You know what I would do if I
Mm.
were up there on that stage in front of all those people and I had to say something off the seat of my britches now that I've had an hour to think about it? This is the brilliant joke I have." And and you sit there and you listen to it and you go, "You know what? That's a good joke. You're really funny. I know 3 comedy clubs we can go to right now. I know how you can get in, and I will have you improv with these groups. I can get you up there. Let's do it. Let's do it right now." And they never will. And it's just kind of like exposing them as, I'm going to keep my supportive language, but I'm going to
Mm.
show you that you're never going to do it. That to me is like the epitome of turkey talk, is when people their ideas, people like, "Oh, they got ideas." You know what I mean? They got some weird idea. That's usually how I get affected. Um, and then thereafter, they kinda make their own boundary
Mm.
because I'm never gonna not do that to them.
Mm.
It's kinda like, any kind of training. Training a dog, you know what I mean? To where it's like, when I say sit, sit. And, if you don't sit, no treat.
Mm.
Um, that's how I like to approach things. It takes the least amount of energy, and it gives me the most amount of insight based on how
Mm.
they respond to that. Because you can't it's not gonna escalate. There's no way for that conversation to escalate. Um,
Interesting.
yeah. It is a tactic. It is well thought out, and it's helped me through a lot.
Casey is a turkey hunter.
Turkey hunter. Thanksgiving come early.
Turkey busters.
Yeah. Gosh. But, anyway, I hope that was helpful. I've been listening to a lot of
Again, let me preface that we are not licensed or credentialed
licensed to
in,
hunt turkeys.
this is not therapy. This is just a conversation. I would love to hear anybody's thoughts after you've watched this. If you actually watched an hour and a half
Yeah,
of us
comment your
talking turkeys,
mom
tell us your
said
thoughts, tell
it's
us
always
your
turkey
examples.
season.
We are we want to hear it because we support you and your
Yeah,
thoughts in those
and
things.
I think too, it's really important for me to say, in the process of making sure that I'm always the most vulnerable I can be. Um,
Mm.
I know I've been this way. I know that I've been the person that I know that there's been phases in my life that you didn't want to tell me an idea because I might make fun of it,
Mm. Mm.
you know? And it didn't mean anything, which is the part that hurts people the most.
Yeah.
When somebody tells you an idea, when somebody confides in you about their life, you shouldn't make meaningless fun about it,
Mm-mm.
because my life isn't meaningless. My ideas aren't
Mm-mm.
meaningless.
Yeah.
And that's what I recognize is what made me a total, you know what I mean? Like, total turd, turkey turd. And
Oh my gosh.
in maturing and growing up
Yeah.
and inflecting on relationships, having conversations, people expressing this to me, which, I mean, takes a lot of energy out of people, you know what I mean? Having
Mm,
those moments in my life, I think that, like, I've definitely learned better habits, and we've all been there, we've all been
yeah.
13, you know what I mean? We've all been 12, we've all been 16, we've all been 7, you know what I mean? All those ages. You're learning, you're making mistakes, and you're allowed to learn from them, you're allowed to grow, and you're allowed to, um, admit that you've done those things.
Absolutely. So, we've all been a turkey. We're hopefully striving to
And
be
if you
eagles in our
haven't
lives.
if
If
you
you
haven't,
haven't, you probably
think
are a
about
turkey
it.
right now.
Think about it. I really want you to think
And
about it.
if I've been a turkey to anybody who's watching, let's chat and we'll totally apologize because I don't
Please.
want any turkey association. I'm not a member of the turkey
I'm too
association. So
fragile. I'm too fragile. Please don't.
just forgive her. Just forgive her.
You know what?
Just go ahead and forgive her.
Did we talk about grace yet?
That is for the next
Yeah.
conversation. So,
Alright.
okay, we have gone way
Yeah.
longer than we ever thought. I thought the turkey combo might be 30 minutes tops, but here we are because we are chatty. We're
We're
chatty.
chatty, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for
Yeah.
supporting us. We support you. And I hope you're having an amazing holiday season right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope you get everything that you want for Christmas and then some.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for
Yeah.
watching,
Thanks
and
for
we
watching.
appreciate you guys.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.